Good morning, good morning, good morning. We have a roller coaster of a day planned for this Wednesday, April 29th. What is it? 28th. April 28th, 2021. Thanks for joining me. If you're over on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook, it's good to see you this bright morning. We have a lot going on today. We have the Fed announcement at 11 o'clock Pacific. We'll be here for that. We're going to carry that. We'll take a break in between streams, but we'll carry that. We also have Jeremy Powell, his press conference at 11:30. We'll carry that as well, and then into the close. So with that, look for a roller coaster of a day across the markets, and let's get into it and let's see where we're at. Let's check. Whoa, hey, what happened here? Oh, I see. I know what happened. Hold on a second. Take off extended hours here. And let's get into it. We're on a 3-minute chart here, and it looks like the S&P is set to open up about 1.5 points. Let's get this a little bit bigger here so we can see what's going on. And then the Nasdaq. This is the Nasdaq 100 mini futures are looking to open down 1875. And then the Dow is looking to open up down 69, and the VIX is down 0.6, which is interesting because it's down 0.6, yet the market is looking to open up down, except for the S&P. But the VIX is representative of the S&P 500 index, so that's why it's showing where it's at. Oil is up big time again. UK oil up to 67.06, light crude up 76 cents to 63.70. That's going to bode well for Chevron and ExxonMobil, which report ExxonMobil and Chevron both report Friday morning. Hess came out with earnings. They beat BP. Announced a share buyback program on Monday. So we have a lot of good stuff going on there, and that's going to bode well for ExxonMobil, which is up 36 cents in the pre-market to 56.77. This thing is on a nice little run here. If you would have, let me get to a 4-hour chart here. And if you would have caught this bottom right here, $54 or so, that's pretty good. Got support here again at 54, 55, and then again here, 55.15. And then what we want to happen is we want this level here, this 57.87 or so, so another dollar or so, we want that to form as a new base, as a new support. And so if we can break that resistance there, then we're heading up north of $60 again. So they report earnings this coming Friday morning. Coinbase looking to, let me get back over to a 3-minute chart here. Coinbase looking basically flat on the pre-market. They were up in the pre-market. They bounced up to right about 304.26. Yeah, 304. Find it here. 304.24, 304.25. So it was up a couple dollars in the pre-market. We'll see what happens there. Palantir trading down about 17 cents, but looks like it's trying to form some support here. This 23.51. We'll keep an eye on that one as well. AMC looking to open up down, not quite, right about 50 cents. So down about 4.5% after AMC announced that they were not going to list on their vote on May 5th, the proxy vote going on, or not even the proxy vote, but the shareholder vote to allow the issuance of 500 million additional shares. So they had came out and they had took that off the table yesterday. And so with that off the table, that they did announce though that they will be basically markets are open. That they have 43 million additional shares that they can basically put up for sale. Okay, so here we go. We're live now. So markets are now open. Let's check the Dow. Dow is down 78 points right out of the gate. S&P is up 5.0. Nasdaq is down 8. Now down 10, now down 11, now down 12, now down 13, now down 14. Here we go. Like we said, it's going to be a roller coaster day, folks. Strap in because this is what it's going to be about. VIX trades all the way down 0.6 It was already open. It opens up a lot earlier. So basically opens up when the market opens up for pre-market at 1 o'clock in the morning. So it is down zero point 0.6 from yesterday's close. From yesterday's close. So let's take a look at some of the movers. Boeing came out with earnings this morning. They're trading down 239. That might be a buying opportunity. Be careful on this one though, because again, we have the Fed announcement today, and that's going to be very interesting as to what they say if they finally admit to inflation coming back in or not. We've got Lisa Su is on AMD, and let me see here. I want to do this. Take that down there. That down here. Put this down here. And we have a red day here, but let's see what she has to say here.
We have those, and it starts with phenomenal product and being able to do the things that we need to do as we're advancing in this really digital transformation of the world.
There's a very big debate right now, Lisa, about the grand reopening and whether that means that the second half will not have the demand for personal computers that the first half does. Something, by the way, that Intel highlighted as a possibility. What kind of demand trend do you see for personal computers?
Yeah, so the PC market, Jim, is in a remarkable place. I mean, if you think about it, the recent growth that we saw last year and the growth that we're seeing this year is just very, very strong. And I think it's this trend of not just work from home, but everybody wants better products and better computing. You want a better video.
She's more animated
this
morning.
Computing experience, and so the demand is strong. Now, what we see is across PCs, across...
Okay, so that's that. Again, they blew out their earnings, again, like they did last quarter, but last quarter they blew out their earnings and the stock went down. This quarter they blew out earnings and the stock was up in the post-market, and it's up again this morning quite a bit, actually. So if you take a look here at AMD, and let me get back the... whoops, hold on a second here. Where's my mouse? Hey, mouse, come here. So it had to run up to earnings really from last week, from the 22nd at 78, and it's up a good 12% since then. What's that? 78 divided into 88, 12%. Yeah, 11.36% since then. So definitely had an old support level here. You got to watch out for that one if they do a pullback. But if they pull back, it might be to this $85 level. So be careful. Watch on that. Usually they'll get a run up here as the market opens, and then we'll take a look and see what happens as it sells off and people take some of the profits that they had based on yesterday's and the prior day run up on Monday as well. So they look pretty good there. Apple came out with their earnings as well. They did good. Matter of fact, let's go into some of those here. So again, on the economic calendar today, we have Trend Goods Advanced Report for March. We'll see what that comes out with. It should be out already. Federal Reserve announcement is at 2 p.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock Pacific. And Jerome Powell press conference at 11:30 Pacific, 2:30 Eastern, and we'll carry that for you here on the channel. Gas prices 288.5 are flat compared to yesterday. Fair and Greed Index 59. We were 58 yesterday. Got a little greedier. So we have that going on. Extra tab here, and let's go into the earnings for today. Again, Boeing came short on their shares. They lost $1.53 versus expected $1.17. So, but they had some good news. 787 is now completely in South Carolina now, and they're on track to produce 5 airplanes of those a month is what the goal is. They expect in 2022 to move 737s up to 31 per month. They talked about the KC-46 tankers on their call, as well as some other good things. So that's going to be one that's going to be interesting to watch, to look for a buying opportunity back into them, but it's gotta settle first. And so with that, you got to be very careful here with a company like Boeing, because usually they'll come down hard, then they're going to settle. They might leg down another one, and then you can buy, and then it's off to the races again. So we'll see what happens with them. Wingstop beat their earnings. Most of them will. Garmin beat their earnings. Siri XM beat their earnings. General Dynamics beat their earnings. Yum Brands beat their earnings. CME Group Real Estate short on theirs. Be careful with REITs. Again, you think that all those people that aren't going back to offices, a lot of companies are going to do hybrid programs where maybe they only come in the office a little bit per week. They're going to contract their space in all these buildings downtowns where all the riots are going on, right? Six Flags, they missed their earnings, of course. No, their Discovery Communications, the TV company, down 4.1%, or they beat theirs. Stanley Black & Decker beat theirs. Pretty much everybody beat. If you look at this chart, Norfolk Southern beat. Owens Corning beat. Brinker International missed. Teledyne beat. Moody's, Hess Corporation. So this is the first one for earnings for oil producer, and they sold something like 4.2 million barrels of crude that a Bakker crude or Bakkal oil field, I forget. They had on tankers and they sold that for a profit that had been sitting on these tankers in storage for like a year. And that helped out their quarter. They expect growth to go. And I read a couple stories yesterday about gas prices, that there's not going to be enough tanker drivers to deliver the gas. So gas prices are going to go up. Where in 2019, they had a shortage of 10% of oil tanker drivers. Now they've got 20 to 25% shortage. So expect that this summertime. We also have demand coming up. Yes, we have the issues with India, but demand is going to peak, and this summer people are going to go out. The CDC changed mask guidelines yesterday. We're going to have some information on that a little bit later. So they changed the guidelines on that. President Biden came out and did a press conference, not really a press conference, but just a reading of that. So we have FOMC today. We have Powell news conference at 2:30, at 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern. You also have the State of the Union address is today as well. So it's going to be a very roller coaster day of selective things, where normally, if that stuff wasn't happening, the market would be exploding today off of this. So it's definitely something to look at. And of course, we also had some good news yesterday after close. Again, AMD blew out their earnings right out the door. Microsoft missed a little bit on theirs. Google did fantastic on their earnings. Visa announced more cryptocurrency. They're going to have some big news on cryptocurrency. In other words, they probably figured out a way to accept cryptocurrency. Here's a caveat though. Companies like MasterCard, Visa, anybody that's looking to exchange these things are going to be charging fees. So on top of you paying a fee to Coinbase or Gemini or your exchange of 0.05% every time you make a transaction, Visa is going to want their cut too. That's just the way it's going to be. That's why peer-to-peer, it's not about having Visa accept it. It's about having the stores have a reader that takes it right off the blockchain and confirms it within seconds, and so that you can use it without having to go through Visa. So I don't care about Visa and them accepting crypto. I don't want them to accept crypto. I don't care if they accept crypto, because I don't want to pay them. No, go lay down. You were just outside. You were literally 5 minutes ago. You were outside. Now you have to wait. You have to wait. Sit. Wait. Okay. So you have a lot of that stuff going on. So Sirius XM beat, CME Group beat, Spotify, Shopify all beat. Boeing, again, they came in a little short. So you have that going on. You have that going on there. So a lot going on here this morning. Let's get right back into the market. So again, Boeing, I'm going to be looking at Boeing to see if there's a bounce. But again, this afternoon worries me a little bit. Coinbase, you got down $1.67 now. So they're definitely pulling back. Palantir down 32 cents. They're pulling back. And let me take a look at my my stuff here. Oh, where is this? Exxon, my Exxon options are up $2,000 today. Yay. So Exxon is my bright spot today. They are my bright spot. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go. They're at 57.76. I need $60, so this is a nice run here. I'm gonna leave it on this one, and I'll be right back. I'm gonna go let her out real quick, and then I'll be right back up. Right back up here. But before we do that, Starbucks looks like they're dropping. Oops, S-Bucks, wrong stock, and they're down 296. So you got Boeing down, Coinbase down, Palantir down. But ExxonMobil, all the oils are up. All right, I'll be right back. Let me go let her up. Outside. Okay, we're back. So it looks like oil, and I dug pretty deep into this last night and this morning. 63.71. Exxon is up. Chevron is going to be up as well. Let me go to them. Oops, I put them up here. Here we go, CVX. They're up as well. And again, ExxonMobil doesn't have the like BP. They don't have as big a trading floor per se, but huge company. There's a proxy vote going on as far as the board. They're trying to get okay. A bunch of activists created a brand new hedge fund, and they stacked it with environmental nutcases. And they're trying to get those people put on ExxonMobil's board. And what they're going to try and do is try and destroy the oil companies from within. That's my take on this. And so it's not going to pass. But you've got every union liberal pension group, like the California Teachers Pensions, is going to vote yes to put these new nutcases on Exxon's board. It's not going to happen. So you'll hear more about that on Friday, but that's going to be a little bit of news that could have a little pressure on the stock. Again, my call options are at $60, and they are set to expire on May 7th. I am possibly looking to roll those forward because I'm still down a couple grand on them, but I'm up 2,000 today. So my current position looks like, what is that? 56. Is that 36.40? 36.40. I got 36.40 of a position in that. My Palantir is down today a little bit, but it's coming back. It's now down only 14 cents. So it's starting to come back. Coinbase, that's down 27 cents. It's bouncing back. So let's look at some of these other markets and see if we got a little bit of a bump here. You still have the S&P is up 4.5. go to a 1 minute, let's go a 3 minute. So S&P 500 is up 5 right now. So the VIX is 17.3. It's still down 0.3, but it moved up 0.3. It was down 0.6 once the market opened, but it had been all morning in the pre-market. It had been heading south by 0.6. So that's interesting there with them. You have the Dow Jones Industrial Average down 114. Again, Boeing is going to carry that down a little bit as well. And then you have the NASDAQ is down. The NASDAQ Composite is down 21 points right now. So again, some of the bright spots of the morning, you have Boeing 234.93 now. Again, like I said, be very careful with this one. 30-second chart. Okay, be very careful with Boeing. What it tends to do is it will basically fall down. It'll form a little bit of a base, kind of a little bit of a bull trap. And so you got to watch your indicators and see really what's going on, along with the trend of what the overall market is doing as well. Why is this still on extended hours? Get that out of there. There we go. All right. So you got to be aware of what the S&P is doing and what the VIX is doing as well. But that might be some opportunity there. There's a little bit of push up there. But again, now you got to watch the volume. So you got the first 20 minutes in the market. If you look at the sentiment and take a look at what's going on with the S&P 500, there we go. All right, Google up, Amazon up, Facebook up, Starbucks down, McDonald's up, Tesla down, Microsoft down. All the chip makers, with the exception of AMD and Xilinx, are up. AMD beat handily, and they're doing very, very well, like they've done last quarter. And so they had a nice beat on earnings, so they did well. Apple beat, they're doing pretty well. Google beat big time, and so they're doing well, up 4%. But most of that 4% was in the aftermarket yesterday afternoon. So Visa beat, MasterCard. You got JP Morgan, all the banks are up. So banks are up, energy is up, and then you got a mix of tech with some that kind of missed and didn't do well on earnings, with some that did do well on earnings. So that's why you have a mix of stuff that's up and down. So right now, Dow is down 118, Nasdaq's down 22, S&P is up +6. So again, see, you had a little bit of a green candle there, but volume not enough. Even within the last 5 minutes, it didn't beat that volume. So occasionally you're going to have some of these. Oh, looks promising. Nope, slam down. And again, this candle here, this green one here, you can't really compare it to the first one, but this one right here, it did not beat this candle. Barely, but it's like right there at the line. So it looks like Boeing is not done yet as far as heading to the south. And again, if you look at where it bottomed out now, you got to be aware of this stuff, right? You say, okay, back in November, we were down at 143. Back in February, we're at 193. So 193 in February. Now, if you look at this here, this is a good indicator right here. In December, we're at 239.34. So that's $5 from higher than where we're at right now from old resistance. So then you say, well, where's our support at? Well, that's the battle. That's the battle going on right now. We're trying to figure out where the new support level is going to be on this thing. So the charts would say, well, you should have support at this 240 level, because the next time you go back, you've got, well, here's an old one here. Hold on. So this is last June, 227. So that's not far out. That's $7 down from where we're at right now. My inclination is saying somewhere in the middle here. So somewhere right around where it's at right now, this might be a bottom. This might be finding its bottom here. And that's of course is the hope on that. So 30-second chart. So that's something that, once it finds its bottom, it's going to recover. And I think it's going to recover today. So now, is it going to recover a full $7.67? I don't know. I'm just a guy on the internet. Let's take a quick look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin down 257. Ethereum made new highs, 2759, record highs. And again, the separation from Bitcoin, where Bitcoin over the last year is up 362%. Check this out. It just keeps going. Ethereum over the last year, 548. That is 186% outperformance of Ethereum over Bitcoin over the last 52 weeks. 186% Ethereum is outperformed. So that's my horse in this race. Again, I'm 93% Ethereum. I am 7% Bitcoin in my portfolio and have been for quite a long time now. So that I strap my horse to Ethereum because of the use cases. Yes, Bitcoin is a stable a state of value, but Ethereum has use cases, and that's where the use comes in. And the more it's used and the more projects that come on board, the more that thing is going to go. And it blew through my $2,500 price target. I think I was talking 2,500 by the end of this year. We're April, we're almost May, so we're 4 months into the year. I already hit my 2021 price target on Ethereum. I have not come up with a new one yet. Obviously, the logic would say, well, 5,000. That's your new price target. I've got 10,000 in mind. I think it's going to hit 10,000. I just haven't guessed as to when that's going to happen. Because basically what you have is you have it going parabolic. And by parabolic, it means this. As more, if you look at all the stuff that we had in 2019 and then in last fall, and you had this run up, and now we're just well above. No, you were just outside. No, I'll give you. Where's your ball at? Go get your ball. Where's your ball? Let me go get her ball real quick. Being a pain today. Where's your ball? Give her your ball. Sit. Thinks it's playtime. All right. So 27.59 is the high on this one. It hit it this morning, or what time was that at? Actually hit it yesterday, I thought. No, here it is. Well, that's not 27.59. Let me go out further here. Hold on. There we go. Where is it? This does not, none of these wicks say 27.59. They say 27.35. So where did it hit 27.59 at? It didn't. What the heck? This is weird. It says the high is 27.59, but it doesn't show. Maybe because this is just on Binance. But something's not right here because this wick ends at 27.35, and it says that it hit a high at 27.59, and it hit 27.58 today. So it might be just a reporting issue in there somewhere. Coinbase pulling back a little further now, so they are down a little bit. Palantir coming back, only down 5 cents now. ExxonMobil, 57.65. That pulled back just a little bit. Boeing continuing down. Again, we talked about 227, right? Or 227. We talked about on Boeing. So again, if you're looking at Boeing and you're looking at a daily, let me go to a 4-hour chart here. If you're looking at a 4-hour chart and saying, hey, where's there some support at? You've got some over here. The top of these candles here, not the wicks, but the actual closing candles. This is on a 4-hour chart now. Says 231 and 227 in that range, right around here. It already broke to 238 up here, so that's why I'm over here in this 227, 231 range. It's at 233 now. It already tested that a little bit earlier this week at 230.18 back on the 21st. So that's an interesting level there. So as it comes down here, you can see that candle didn't eclipse 1, 2, 3. You got 3 candles that it didn't beat. 4 candles. Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles on a 4-hour chart that it has not gone down below. So 233, this level, it's still showing it's not done yet though. But man, any spot right around where it's at right now, I think is probably an okay place for an entry if I was to buy it. But again, not financial advice, not tax advice. If you do what I do, you're going to lose 100% of your money. So don't do it. Don't be me. You'll lose money. Like I said, I'm losing money on Coinbase. Palantir is up. Yay. Palantir is up. ExxonMobil is up. So now we're getting a little bit of a turn in the market. We've got the NASDAQ is now up. S&P is up a little bit more. We were up 5 before. Now we're up 7.8. Dow is still down 140. Again, Boeing carrying some of those other entities down with them. But the NASDAQ Composite is now up 10.8. So turning positive on the day there. Let me see if I got any top news worth noting. Well, look at all this update stuff. What is this? UK Prime Minister Johnson apartment refurbishment triggers investigation. All right, whatever the heck that's supposed to mean. It's just like there's no top news this morning. The top news is like from half hour ago. All these news stories are on earnings and everything else. Shopify, Rise Online Shopping, GSX. Just a lot of noise here. So again, when I put it in the title of the video for this morning. I said it was going to be a roller coaster day. We are already into a roller coaster day. I've gone from down $2,000 to now I'm up $1,800 on the day. So a lot of that is Palantir. Again, I've got extreme patience for Palantir. Extreme patience. But it can be frustrating when you get up in the pre-market and you're looking. The first thing you do, I pull up my iPad and I check the pre-market, and I'm looking, okay, Coinbase is up in the pre-market. Okay, S&P is looking to be up. Dow's going to go down. Boeing missed their earnings estimate, kind of big time from a loss standpoint, but they've got some good news recovery stuff in play here. And then Palantir trading down like 33 cents, and I'm like, all right. But then I got down to ExxonMobil and oil is up, knocking on the door again to $64. Right, so if you look at oil, look at light crude here, and say, hey, we're not that far off from $64. And again, so U.S. oil, if you have any of that, again, I had sold that. I forget what I sold that at 40. I'm going back a few months now, 44. So it's had a nice recovery off of its bottom. Whoops, that's not the bottom I'm looking for. That's a daily chart here. It's had a nice recovery off of its bottom here of 39. So 39 divided into 43. Oops. 39 divided into 43 equals -1. It's had about a 9% recovery off of its bottom, its last support level, which is right here. And of course, I have alerts set on this one at $70, and to the downside, I think I had it set way down here. I thought I had one set. Maybe no. I know I did. Hold on a second. Oh, auto. Okay, there's your chart, folks. Just very easy to watch this. Just buy when it says buy, sell when it says sell. Very simple. If you can't understand this, I don't know what the problem is. I really can't help you. Here we go. All right, so let's go to a 3-minute chart here. And we're on a buy from the pre-market on the 3-minute chart. Alerts. Where are we at here? Crossing 70 and crossing 36.47. So I had a 36 on the downside. That one's gone. So I'm going to delete that one because it ain't going to hit that one again for a downside, even if we get a market correction of some sort, which who knows. Boeing I had set at 252, but that was on the high side crossing. That's gone because now we're back into the 230s. Ethereum crossing 2048. I'm going to leave that one there. Bollinger Bands crossing 459 on the NASDAQ. And Bollinger Bands crossing 334 on the NASDAQ. Yeah, those are gone too. That should not be a Oh, that was on Coinbase, but yeah, that due diligence is not relevant to me anymore. Because again, all this stuff is so near term. You know, you got this $300 level on Coinbase, and that's apparently setting up for the battle for this week. Boy, these stories are just flying. All right, let's see. All right, Biden to push trillions in investment. Okay, his plan for tonight, $4 trillion is basically this $4 trillion. Now, here's a way they're going to cloak this, and I use cloak to be the kindest term I can come up. Dennis asks, does Biden speak today? Yes, Biden is going to give his State of the Union address at 6 p.m. Pacific. That's tonight. So 9 o'clock Eastern is State of the Union. We'll get glimpses of what that's going to be, which I'm going to read right now. Knight, good morning to you as well. So yeah, Biden is definitely going to be speaking at State of the Union later on today. But we have Jerome Powell speaking at 11:30 Pacific. We'll be back on for that one. We'll carry that and the FOMC announcement at 11 o'clock. So I plan to be on probably about 10 minutes before that market announcement. So Biden to push trillions in investment, plead for police reform in Congress speech. Dow and NASDAQ open lower. Again, this is old stuff now. Boeing results, Fed in focus. Deutsche Bank outshines Wall Street rivals with best quarter since 2014. Indians rush for COVID-19 vaccines as death toll passes 200,000. CCE countries shun near-term inflation threat. Embattled Boeing posts smaller loss as more Americans fly. Google battles landmark UK class action over alleged iPhone tracking. Okay. Easy pandemic curves boost sales at Yum, Pizza Hut. Justice Department ends Trump-era limits on grants to sanctuary cities. Again, you got riot season coming up. So riot season is already here. It's ridiculous. Riot all you want. I don't care. I don't live in a city. I live in the burbs, and I plan to sell my house to somebody trying to escape the city. Bring it. Don't care. They can destroy themselves. All right, AMC down 36 cents. Coinbase down $2.08. GameStop down $10.29 to 167. That's going to be interesting for them. Again, we'll look at options probably tomorrow. We got way too much going on today. Somebody says, hold on. I don't think it's State of the Union speech, just a speech to joint session of Congress. That's actually correct. So somebody pointed out correctly that it's not a State of the Union speech, but I bet he uses those words in it. So the first year when you come in, usually it's done like the first 2 months. You don't do a State of the Union once you're elected president. That's in your next 3 years, but you do a joint session to Congress. So I don't, but I think it's still called. They're still calling it State of the Union. Let's see here. But it's actually a joint statement of Congress, and they're going to be, normally you have 1,600 people. You have 1,600 people in the audience. Tonight they're going to have no, I'm not. You got toys over there you can play with. I already let you out 3 times this morning in the span of an hour. You got treats in your ball. You want to give a hug? All right, fine. We'll give you a quick hug, and that'll be it. And then I'm going to throw you downstairs if you keep this up. Come here. All right. You didn't get morning hugs. I understand. Okay. I know. I love you too. Okay. All right. My dog. Good dog. Yep. Okay. I love you too. Okay. I know. Want to say hello? All right. Say hello. All right. Now sit down. Say hello. All right. There's Liberty. All right. Let's see here. All right. That's not a story. She fell off the chair. I saved your life. All right. Go. That's it. That's all you get. Go play with your ball. Okay. That's not what I'm looking for. Let's go with news here. The not State of the Union. So it's not officially the annual address. So you were correct in that. I call it State of the Union because anytime it's not officially the annual address. First time he speaks in front of both houses of Congress. But again, they're only going to have 200 people instead of 1,600 in there. So you might hear a little bit of this, oh, or you might hear a little bit of this. So it'll be interesting with the pandemic and everything else going on, what he actually sounds like. The annual address is typically delivered by the president in late January, early February, with the last one given by former President Donald Trump on February 4th, 2020. Presidents have, since the inauguration of former President Ronald Reagan in 1981, presidents have not delivered the State of the Union the year they left office or were inaugurated, primarily because the president can't really speak about the state of the country just a few weeks in office. So you're 100% correct. It is not a State of the Union, but I'll side bet. I'll bet you a 6-pack of beer that he says the State of the Union is strong anyway, because he won't know any better to not say that. So if you want that bet, send me a text if you're in on that bet. I think he's going to say the State of the Union is strong because he doesn't know any better and he's senile. If you want that bet for a 6-pack of beer next time I come out there, let me know by text if you want that bet. So it is not a State of the Union. It is a joint statement to both houses of Congress. There will be 200 people allowed in, select family. They'll probably throw a couple victim families up there. They'll probably throw a couple victim felony killed suspects families up there. Apparently he's going to talk about the police, but he's also going to talk about how the majority of police officers are good. Did you know that in Chicago, so you got all these alleged completely, police shootings, right? Yet in Chicago, Illinois, this year, as of a couple days ago, there have now been 1,000 shootings in Chicago so far this year. 1,000. Over the last 10, 11 years, I think it's been only 2 other times has it hit 1,000 shootings this early in the year. So over 1,000 shootings in Chicago, but we're going to put the focus on 1 or 2 felons that get shot resisting arrest, trying to take stuff from the cops to use it against them. So, okay, America, if you want to do that, go for it. So GameStop heading down. Let's take a look at Boeing. Again, Boeing looks like it's finding a bottom here. Let me go to 3-minute chart here. It didn't give a buy yet, but I would not be surprised if it pops a buy here pretty quick. Let's see here. Only yep, I agree with that statement there. Let's see. I'm going to read this only because it's funny. The person I'm texting with says, "You're on." So I'm on with the bet. So a 6-pack of beer. I say he's going to say the State of the Union is strong. The other person says they're not. He only says what he is told to, that which is written for him. That's true. But so that's a good question. Will we get something like the State of the Union is strong? Pause here. Wait for clap. Wait for effect. I bet he reads some of that stuff in there too, because he's just. Anyway, all right. Palantir. Palantir is up 11 cents, so that's good news. Coinbase down $1.91. I don't know. I need to average some of this, so I'm going to see what happens today. Maybe in the after hours when the speech is released, we'll get what's in the speech. I hope we get what's in the speech before the aftermarket closes. If we do, I can possibly do a little positioning for tomorrow. But the most important thing is going to be the FOMC meeting, the announcement at 11 o'clock Pacific, 2 o'clock Eastern, and then the Jerome Powell press conference at 11:30 Pacific, 2:30 Eastern, and we'll carry that here on the stream for you as well. Okay. All right, let's get back into this here. The Dow is now down 146. Again, Boeing just keeps going here. 235, but it bounced back up, which is decent. NASDAQ now up 18, and the S&P now up 8. So that's pretty good, which means the VIX probably dropped back down. Yep, came back down a little bit. Got a 17.5. Dropped another couple points from there. So back down to 17.2. 17.6, or no, 17.5 is where it was at. So hold on here. What time was this at? Well, that's right as the market opened. It was a 17.5. So we've dropped 0.3 since the market opened on the VIX. And here is the here's the market open. What the heck? Why does this look the way it does here? Hold on a second. All right, let me match these up a little bit. Well, they're not going to match up because of both on 30 seconds. Yeah, so they'll match a little bit, but again, because the VIX opens up before the S&P 500, that's why it looks the way it does. Deal with it. All right. So 17.2 on the VIX. Oil 67. Brent crude 67.19, up 59 cents. Light crude up 86 cents. 63.80 now. There you go. I needed that thing to pop. I really did. 57.83. Looks like ExxonMobil looking to make another run. We'll see if it runs into a little bit more resistance here. It came in at 57.95 on resistance. So we'll see what happens on that one. Let me see where I'm at today. I'm gonna be up pretty good today. But let's see, my Coinbase. My total Coinbase today is down another $252, but I'm up $34.21, so I'm up $3,100, and most of that, everything I have is green across the board. I have Palantir shares. I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you guys. My bad. I bought more Palantir. Okay, so I still have the 95 call options, but when those dipped on yesterday, because I felt confident it was going to come back, I turned around and I bought 1,500 shares of Palantir, and I bought those at what is that? $23.90. $23.90. So I bought 1,500 shares at $23.90. So my I still have 2 U.S. oil leaps. Those are up $21 today. My ExxonMobil calls are up 1,800. My Palantir calls are up 1,100. But well off their high, folks. I'm up 36% on those. I was up about $4,000. Now I'm up 3,900. So I'm almost back to where I was. Where did it hit before? It hit 24.24, I think, before on the high. And my shares, I'm up 300. I went for a scalp yesterday on Palantir, and then and it went positive for me by about $50. And then it dropped, and then in the pre-market it dropped again, but I wasn't worried about it. So I'm up $1,500 on Palantir, $300 on the shares, and $1,100 on the options for today. So my shares are up 0.72%. My options are up 35%. My ExxonMobil options are up today 117%. My U.S. oil leaps today are up 10.5%. So my oil play is finally working for me. I had to have extreme patience on the oil play for this one. And again, I've got U.S. oil. What I said was, if my guess on this was that if gas prices, sorry, let me go back to what I said, and you can go back into one of my streams and you can read this. But what I said was, if gas hits $4.50 a gallon, then I have U.S. oil at $70 a share. Now, I sold out of all my U.S. oil way back in, let me go to the 1 hour here. Right up here, almost to where it's at now. I sold 43 something. So you know what? I might have been, it might have been in this range. So it might be higher right now than what I sold it at. I would have to dig in online and see the date that I sold it. But it's come all the way back. Now, what I've done since then is, if you take 4160 divided into 43.47, it's bounced back 4.3%. So you could say, yeah, you idiot, you should have held the damn things. Yes, point taken. You're absolutely correct. I should have held them. I could have held them, but I freed up that capital and I made an alternate oil play. And the alternate oil play that I'm making And I could still turn out to be wrong here. And I've got to make a decision before Friday morning. I decided to make the play in ExxonMobil instead, because I thought that the juice was going to be greater based on the fact of how far down this thing was hammered. And with that, I looked at support levels, and then I went out and I bought 80 calls. Those 80 calls expire May 7th, and I've been upside down on them for weeks, a couple months actually. So that, I held them. I didn't sell at a loss. I'm being rewarded today. Those options are up 119% just today. Those things are up $1,960 just by themselves, those 80 calls. So, but I'm still down $2,700 on those calls overall from the buy I made a month and a half ago. Well, what date did I make those? Hold on a second. I can tell you. Well, no, I can't. It's not on this page. I'd have to look up when I bought those things. But I'm still negative on them. But if this thing gets close to 60 before next Friday, which it may, this is earnings explosion this week. The fact that all these earnings are coming out, and today's the biggest day. Today's the biggest day for earnings. We looked at that. We looked at the chart. And by the way, if you want this and want to go look at yourself, it's called earningswhispers.com. And you can just click on the date, and then it'll give you, there's a map that shows, I showed that earlier, where you have, hey, these are all some of the bigger companies, but this won't have every company on here. For example, you don't have Hess on here. Hess was big for me because Hess could possibly tell me what ExxonMobil is going to do. So if I type in Hess, here we go, and look at them, they're up 5% today. ExxonMobil is up 2%. So why? Why are they up? Well, if you look at their quarter one, they're the first one to report. So they report on Wednesday. They swung to earnings. This was the one I was waiting for this morning pre-market. Swung to earnings of 82 cents per share and adjusted turns from a loss of 60 cents. So loss of 60 cents to positive earnings of 82 cents per share in the prior year. Analysts polled by Capital IQ were expecting adjusted EPS of 36 cents. Look at that beat, 36 to 82. Revenue amounted to $1.92 billion, up from $1.37, the consensus estimate. Has said that it expects to produce 290,000 barrels per day and 295,000 barrels per day in 2021, which is a little lower than I think 317 or something, or 310. They had originally projected 310. So the reason that's important is, here's some of the stuff here. Quarterly production, revenue. There was a comment in there which was very positive, I thought, for oil in general. Here we go. U.S. oil, I think it was this one. U.S. oil producer Hess on Wednesday swung to a profit in the first quarter despite lower production as a winter storm boosted demand for natural gas, while steady COVID-19 vaccine rollouts aided a recovery in oil prices. Global crude, blah, 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 blah. Oil producers said its average realized crude selling price, excluding hedges, surged to $52.52 per barrel. And here's the story I talked about earlier. The company also sold 4.2 million barrels of Bakken crude oil that it had stored on two very large crude carriers during last year's oil downturn that boosted its income by about $70 million in the quarter. So they had oil sitting on tankers that they had bought right here, held it for a year, and sold it up here, and that brought in $70 million. Boom, they blow out the quarter. Hess, the first major oil and gas producer to report corporate earnings this season, posted an adjusted profit of 82 cents a share. Company also cut its full year forecast. We already talked about that, from 310 down to 295. Attributing the decline to lower volumes received on some contracts, asset sales. They actually sold a little bit of some stuff, and the impact of frigid weather conditions in North Dakota. So how much of that was the hedge? They're the first one, but also BP reported theirs as well, and they swung to record operating profit as well. So you have Hess and you have BP that already came out. Still some risk. Now the bad news that could come out on ExxonMobil is that what's going to happen on Friday morning when they report earnings before the open is you're going to have the nut jobs on CNBC. If they have the CEO on, we'll see. But they're going to be talking about this proxy battle to put people on the board from this environmental nutcase activist hedge fund that just began, brand new hedge fund, and they want to put the nut jobs they have running that hedge fund on the board of ExxonMobil because they want to start destroying oil companies from within. Okay, now we're talking stuff that most people don't believe is happening in the overall world. But if you don't believe that the globalists are trying to do things to our corporations and our country and our way of life to turn this into one global mess of authoritarianism, I'm sorry, I believe it. I won't be around. I'll be dead in 30, 40 years, but my kids and grandkids will have to deal with it. So we'll see. So that's part of the destruction. They're starting to begin this destruction. You're already seeing it in social media. There was a CEO that called. There was a story yesterday. A medical virtual appointment company, Visuwell, Visuwell, Bisuwell, and the CEO was out at a restaurant with his family and some friends, and these prom crashers from a hotel down the street crashed this restaurant, and it had one of the young men dressed in a red dress, and he started harassing the people that were trying to enjoy their dinner. So the CEO guy got up and basically said, "Yeah, you know, you look like an idiot." He called this kid in the dress an idiot. Okay, happens all the time. I call people idiots all the time on this stream. Okay, the board of directors for that company fired him. They fired him for calling this kid in the dress an idiot. This is how far we've gone. They want to eliminate 100% free speech. Even Twitch, the platform that I stream on, now has something that they came out, which basically, you know, it says, what are you going to do? Do you have to basically invent your own server if you want to have any type of free speech? I get it. Before you jump on me, I totally understand. Companies have a right to have whatever they want on their platform. But at some point, collusion and monopolies come into play, and free speech in this country, they're trying to remove your ability for free speech. They don't want you to say what you believe. They don't want you to have an opinion. If your opinion goes against their narrative, you're a racist, you're a misogynist, and you need to be canceled. You can't cancel me. Good luck. You can remove me from streams, and I'll find another way to do it. But I quit my job on October 25th of 2020. This is my retirement. I'm 56 years old. So I basically told the corporate world, adios, I'm done with you. I can say what I want. There's consequences for what I say, and I try and moderate what I say versus what I'll tell my friends in text. But this is something interesting because you have platforms, and I don't agree with this. But let me pull it up here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. And this is going to be nothing that I can't. Go to my dashboard here. Let me find it. I don't know where it's at. I gotta find it. Give me a second, and I'll see if I can. Content maybe. I don't know where it's at. But somewhere they give like news. And it basically talked about how on Twitch, if you stream on Twitch, you're going to be held accountable for your actions outside of Twitch. So if they see a text that I send to a friend and that friend sends it to Twitch, I could be held accountable for that text if it goes against their narrative. I just disagree with that. And at some point, you know, I know that there's other platforms out there, and if I ever get, you know, an audience big enough where I have to worry about it, we'll see. So ExxonMobil now knocking on the door for $58 a share here. So I'm glad I was patient with this stock. I'm glad I was patient with my calls. I'm glad I didn't sell them because I could have taken a loss. That thing was down. It's worth 30. What's it worth now? Hold on a second. It's worth $37.60. It was $1,200 the other day. So I took it from $1,200 at the low point. I didn't sell it. I held on to it because I felt I was right in my research. But like anything, I can be right all I want, but my timing could be wrong. I didn't pick the bottom. I definitely picked the bottom on Palantir, and that's rewarding me nicely all the way across the board. And by the bottom, what I'm really talking about is the last set of options that I bought. But the shares yesterday, the shares I bought 1,000 at 23. 1,000 at 23.88. I'm sorry, 1,000 at 23.91, and then it dropped as usual. And then I bought 500 at 23.86. So I have 1,500 shares, plus I have the 95 call options that expire on May 21st. So we'll see on those. Those are up. I did not pare my position back on that. I thought I made a mistake, and I held on to them as it dropped. As it dropped on Monday. I held it over the weekend, and then it dropped on Monday, held it over the weekend, went up on Monday. I did not sell on Monday, which I probably or could have possibly sold on Monday, and then it dropped all day yesterday, and now it's coming back today. It's coming back. They don't report earnings till May 11th, and I expect a positive earnings based on every other software company out there. With a caveat, they do a lot of defense stuff, so we'll see what's in this budget as far as defense. At some point, I am going to have to move out of these calls. Boing. All right, 235. Looks like I was right. I said it had a chance of good support here. We were looking at this. The last time we looked at this, it was on its third candle here. Or no, it was on the 3-minute third candle. No, it was 30-second third candle. I said, hey, this looks pretty good. It might hold here, 233, 235. Like I said, I didn't think it was going to bounce out. It was down 7 something when we looked at it, and it was starting to come back. And since that point, let's take this third candle here. Let's say you bought it in the middle of the fourth candle. It already recovered a couple bucks, right? Let's see here. Whoop, get up there. It's recovered almost a full percent, $2.15 a share. So that would have been a good entry point. That could be the entry point. That could possibly be a new bottom. Near term, 2-3 months, that could be the bottom right here. Because you have to say, okay, the quarter's done. They're rolling out of the pandemic. They're increasing their production accordingly to get 737s up to 31 per month. They're already at 5 787s a month in South Carolina, and they're going to keep that pace. They're building more tankers. I read a story yesterday. Did you guys know that because I was looking at Boeing because of earnings. The 767 was designed from the 747 a little bit in like 1974. That thing first flew in like 1981. They still make freighters for the 767. FedEx loves them. They've got like 56 more orders on the books for the 767s for the freighter versions. FedEx just has an order for like 31 more 767s. This airplane first came out, was designed in the 70s, and they're still building them today for freighters. FedEx loves them. UPS loves them. They love the 767 as a freighter version. It's a little bit smaller than the 747. The 777 basically replaced it. It was going to be the 767. What did I read? It was going to be the 767 400 ERX, which then they canceled it, but they morphed it into the 777. And that's where the 777 came in. So the 777 basically replaced the 767, what was going to be the 767 400 ER, which was great. The X version was a further extension of that, which morphed into the 777. They're still making 767s as freighters today. This company does a lot in space. It's not just airplanes, but they've got it going on. They are, I'm pretty well convinced that this is probably the bottom. I don't own any shares right now. I possibly could have taken a scalp, but I'm happy where I'm at. Palantir pulled back a little bit. Yep, Palantir pulled back a little bit. ExxonMobil, new high, 58. You go. What's Coinbase doing? This is the one I need to turn for the day. I need them to turn positive on the day. What am I down on those today? What was it before? $142, something like that? More than that. 242. What am I down now? I'm down $226 on that. But I'm up. Overall, I'm up 2,800 today. So I hope you're up too. But that's all, man. That's Palantir and oil. That's where my horses are hung. All right, Dow is down 136. Again, yesterday was the first trade I had made since last Thursday. So until yesterday, the last trade I made was last Thursday. That was the last trade I made, and I scalped. Yesterday was the first trade I made. All I did was a buy. I did two different buys. I bought 1,000 Palantir at $23.91, and then I bought another 500 Palantir, pretty much where it's at right now, at $23.88. So those shares were up. So I've slipped back about $1,000 so far. Those shares are up $82 right now, and my options are up $475 today. But I'm still up 28% on the options. Excuse me. Okay. I want to peek around the corner and see what the dog was doing, and she's chewing on her bone, so that's good. Oh. She heard me. Here she comes. All right. So this is getting interesting here. All right, let's see here. I've got some deliveries coming today. Oh, LG wants to know how my contact was with them. Please select the number to let us know. Very dissatisfied, dissatisfied, neutral, 3, satisfied, 4, 5, very satisfied. All right, we'll give them a 5. Now, by me giving them a 5, very satisfied, what that's probably going to do is that is going to trigger them sending me a further survey. There's all my $2 trading view ones. So Boeing missed EPS by 44%. I don't care about that. I don't own it right now, but I want to. Interesting. We'll see what happens. All right, Dow down 128, NASDAQ down 6. So NASDAQ has turned negative. S&P is up 6 right now. Decisions. What is Pew Pew Powell going to say? What was that one? Hold on a second. Man, the news today is just boom, boom, boom. Goog, Bank of America Securities has moved a price target to $27.55 on Google. So 2416 divided by 2775. Oops, my phone heard me. Ding. Because I said the word. That is a 13% price improvement target from Bank of America on Google, who blew out earnings yesterday. They want to see the body cam footage of every single person shot by a police officer, apparently. I'm not going into that. I care about it, but it's trying to push a false narrative, and I just don't believe it. Okay, any further top news? Biden pushed trillions in investment. Plead for police reform in Congress speech. Look. It's not the police that needs to be reformed. It's the economy. It's all the small businesses that you and your ilk have destroyed over the last year. So that tells me that the State of the Union, he wants it to be a negative one, and then they're going to turn around and they're going to, they're basically going to say all these taxes, this $4 trillion on top of the $2 trillion they're asking for. So now we're up to $6 trillion. They're going to say it's for families. and childcare. They want to give a freaking, if you pay for childcare, they want it to be no more than 7% of your income. It's going to be like a $14,800 tax credit if you have a kid under 5 for childcare. $14,800 divided by 12 is $1,200 a month in free stimmy money if you have a kid under 5. That's what they want to give people. Oh, community college free for all. 2 years of community college free for everybody. That's in his tax plan too. So, you know, we'll see. I don't understand how all this can be paid for. The Republicans in the Senate are not going to go for it. You have 2 people in the Senate that already said there's going to have to be compromise. But the problem is the Republicans in the Senate are going to cave. Biden is going to get the majority of the tax increases that he wants. Why? Because the Republicans will cave because they're going to get a little something for their states because they're part of the swamp. It's just going to happen. So you got to be prepared for that. But apparently nobody cares about that stuff. All right, so I'm going to pull up Boeing, and here's a story here that just broke. Capital calls Boeing's long haul. All right, earning its wings. Boeing is discovering that less bad news is still not great. So less bad news is still not great. Agreed. Aircraft maker said on Wednesday that its deliveries rose significantly, but still burned almost $3.7 billion in cash. Okay, it burned $3.7 billion, but it went from $25 billion in cash. It still has $21.7 billion in cash available. Even at that burn rate divided by 3.5. That's another 6 months, and they're increasing stuff. So that cash burn is going to be eliminated. Still burned that. Let's see here. First quarter, blah, 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 blah. Commercial airlines division, what makes planes consumer airlines, was still weak. Revenue down almost a third. We knew that. Let's see. Bit of good news. Deliveries, which are what actually bring cash in the door. Deliveries jumped 54% for commercial planes. No. The trouble is those deliveries are still being rejigged. What does that even mean? Last week, American Airlines said that it had negotiated some delays in theirs. We knew that was coming. Let's see here. Anything else? That's basically it. So again, you know, I have to believe that the bad news is out on Boeing. Now, the risk with Boeing is if you chose this as an entry point, and it's pulling back a little bit now. Now it's down 760 again, now 234. The question is, can it hold this very meager support level at this 233? We'll see here as the market trends downward now. Dow down 138, NASDAQ down 17, S&P up 4. And my Exxon and Palantir are still the same. Palantir is up 2 cents on the day. Coinbase now down 240, so that's further pullback there. Exxon Mobil going back up again, 58.15 now on Exxon Mobil. But back to Boeing. So on Boeing, the problem with Boeing is this. We talked about 193, right? So 193, if we looked at this and said, okay, 193. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go to auto again. I'm doing this the wrong way. Let me do it this way. That was last November. So if you take where they're at right now and say, oops. If you take where they're at right now and say, okay, oops, no, that was 234. I want 230. Oh, come on, dude. Where are we at? 230, 234.59? Close enough. All right, and we say, okay, if it jumps down to this level here, you've got, that is a 17% decline. If the overall market makes some sort of quote unquote pullback or correction, Boeing's going to go with it. No matter what, it's going to participate. It's going to go with it. It's one of the largest companies in the world. Okay. So because of that, when is that going to happen? I don't know. Should have already happened. But then to get back to where it's at right now, with 17%, you need almost a 21% return to get it back. So remember, your percentage is less on the way down, but you need a greater percentage to gain it back. Okay, that's just the way the market. That's the way math. It's just math. Okay, so you'll need a 21% return if it drops down to this 193 level. So that's interesting enough for me that if we do get a correction in here, that I'm going to put a number on it here, and then I'm going to put another one right here, vertical. So I know when I did my when I looked at it, and that tells me by putting this line here, this vertical line here, and this horizontal, it says, hey, if we get some kind of correction, I can look at a daily chart, or I can go out to a weekly and say, okay, what am I looking at? Oh, this is where I drew it. That's not a straight line, is it? Let's get that back here. See if I can. $195, close enough. Now that's going down, isn't it? Who cares? I get the point. All right, so I just drew that as to take a look at a time frame to look at it. Okay, and because of that, it's got it all the way over here. That's fine. It did it at the open. It put that line. So 234.50 on that. We'll take a look there. Palantir now trading down. So ExxonMobil is saving me today because Coinbase is down. Palantir's down. What did it get up to? 24.17. Wow. You dog. 23.84 minus 24.17. Can I buy some more? Is a 33-cent move to the downside. As a percentage, 1.25%. That's interesting to me. I have Amazon coming. I have groceries coming today. All right, so ExxonMobil, boom, baby. Boom! Love it. Love it, love it, love it. I'm now only down $1,600 on my options. But those damn things are up $3,100 today. That's all my gain. My entire gain today is my 80 ExxonMobil calls that expire next Friday the 7th at $60. I would love those things to print. I need oil to come up again. 64, 60. It's looking promising. It's looking promising. Got up to 64.14, slight pullback, and then a good sized candle here. Volume, good luck trying to perform technical analysis on oil. You can't do it on oil. You have to, pardon me, sorry about that. You can clip that. OPEC Plus met yesterday instead of today. And the report that they issued, this is more of my reading last night in bed. What they issued was they have increases scheduled for May. So they left those in check. Even with everything going on in India, they left the increases in production to start in May. The problem with that is that even that increase in production, in my opinion only, is not going to be enough for the increased demand that's going to come into play this summer. Everybody's going to want to fly somewhere. Everybody's going to want to drive somewhere. Ton of people that have the money to travel are going to be fully vaccinated. They'll carry around their stupid card with them saying that they're vaccinated. Look, I can eat in your restaurant. I can stay in your hotel. I got my government-issued government cheese that says that I can travel now, known as a vaccine. By the way, did you know that Merriam-Webster's changed the definition of the word vaccine in their dictionary so that these shots that you're getting qualify as a vaccine? True story. You think I'm lying? Check this out. Check this out. This is the kind of stuff that I read. Okay. Merriam-Webster changes vaccine definition. News. Here we go. 20 days ago. Whoop. Okay. Pandemic phrases that have infected our vocabulary. Okay. Where's it at here? The changes were so significant that Merriam-Webster announced it was making an unscheduled update to the dictionary. Here's a closer look at some of the terms. Apparently I can't read that. Where's the rest of it? Oh, slides. Change in the word mutation to a virus. Long hauler. Vaccine eligibility. Add. Jumping the line. mRNA. Pfizer BioNTech. Moderna. Johnson Johnson. Vaccine passport. Herd immunity. Mass coal. Best one of the day right there, folks. I'm sorry, but I've not heard that term before, but apparently the dictionary is going to put it in there. Mass coal. Pretty sure we don't need to spell this one out for you. Yes, it rhymes sort of with a certain profanity, and yes, it applies to those folks, or as Urban Dictionary so bluntly puts it, those selfish idiots who refuse to wear a mask for any number of unenlightened reasons. Mask hole. I will not comply. Covidiot. That's an old one. Mask me. Whatever. The Rona. Yeah, all my streams are going to get taken down because I'm using all this stuff. Quarantine. COVID parties. All right. Enough of that. Anyway, so the dictionaries are out there getting woke. Look at oil, man. 64.28 on light crude. UK oil up 67.64. What did something else come out? Hold on here. There's got to be something else. High flying stocks went on Fed signals. Oil price rises. Change demand outlook. Here we go. OPEC Plus sticks to plan to ease oil output cuts from May 1st. So again, the way this is worded is bullshit. If you read this, OPEC Plus sticks to plan to ease oil output cuts from May 1st. Let me put that in plain speak for you. OPEC plans to increase production starting May 1st. That's how you word things. Goldman sees surge in oil demand over the next 6 months. Yep. There's about the India death toll. Rystad sees 1 million barrels per day demand hit in May. API shows increase in U.S. crude inventories. Okay, this part here, API shows increase in U.S. crude inventories. Remember what I said earlier in the stream, and this you can take this to the freaking bank. Gas prices are going to go burr this summer. They're going to go through the roof. Now, will they go up to $4.50 a gallon? I'm betting that they will. And the reason I say that is right now we're at an average of $2.88. But in California, you're at $4 now. This is the first. Holy crap. This is the first one. This is the first time this entire year California is now at $4 a gallon per average. Needs at $4.50 in order for U.S. oil to go up to $70. But I'm looking at the national average of $4.50. I think it's going to hit it. California is definitely going to hit it. Washington, Oregon, Nevada, all these states are going to hit it. Illinois is going to hit it. Pennsylvania is going to hit it. Oh, by the way, Wyoming is at 292. But if I click on Wyoming, where I'm going to live at, 277, because Campbell County is where I'm moving to. So I'll be at 277 while y'all are paying $4 in California. Boom. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it. So even though there's going to be an increase in inventories, remember what I said. They're predicting that oil tanker driver shortages, which were 10% in 2019, are already at 20 to 25%. They can't find drivers to haul the gas. They're going to need those drivers. All those drivers that were laid off or whatever early last year, they'll find other jobs. They may not be certified anymore. It takes a certain certification. It takes weeks of additional training and is a very physical, intense, labor-intensive job to haul oil or haul gas, right? So if you have a 25% shortage of drivers, demand is going to go through the roof this summer in this country. It absolutely will. Biden's going to talk about that tonight, talking about this July 4th opening as he walked back into the White House without his mask on. He said we don't have to wear masks outside anymore, basically if you got a vaccine. But as he walked out to the podium, he wore his mask. He said so he can show everybody that he's taking it off and not wearing it, walking back in. Okay, Creeper Joe. So this is the play, man. Oil prices rose on Wednesday as expectations of rising fuel demand offset concerns about the impact. But you have to remember, OPEC and OPEC Plus is smart. What they did was they contracted production. That caused the first jump in oil. So let's look at that. That caused the first jump in oil from August of where are we at here? August, September. November. From November on, okay, that constriction of production caught up, and oil went from $35. It's basically doubled since November. It's doubled since November. Now, I sold my U.S. oil back in this range when it started to pull back. And then, instead of buying U.S. oil back because it's an ETF, it issues a K1, check it with your tax advisor, but there is no such thing as long-term capital gains on an ETF. You basically get a K1, you pay your capital gains as you go, no matter what, realized or unrealized, you still got to pay them. So it doesn't matter if you buy or sell them. Consult your tax advisor. This is not tax or financial advice. This is just education and what I read on the internet webs somewhere. So my play was ExxonMobil. That's the way I played this with those calls. So I've been knee deep in the research on oil and everything it's doing. And I'm just loving the loving it. Saw a story there. What's causing crypto volatility? Nothing. Crypto's fine, man. I got your volatility right here. Was Ethereum is getting ready to hit new highs again. All right, Coinbase down $1.94. Oops, 30-second chart. Actually, we're at 752. Let's eliminate the externals, the pre and the post market. Let's go to a 3-minute chart. And we're on a buy right now on Coinbase. So it's recovered back here. Hit the bottom of 298.75. So 300.23 minus 298.75. It's already bounced back $1.48 off the bottom. And it's on a good buy signal here. Also, we have the Dow is now only down 113. NASDAQ is only down 9. And my Palantir shares are positive again. I'm up $67 on those, $400, or $427 on the options. So Coinbase recovering. GameStop down 742 off of their bottom of 166. So it's up $4 off of its bottom. AMC down 54 cents. Still heading down though. Again, the news on them was that they are going to be issuing 43. They proposed the offering of up to 43 million common shares. They already had permission to do this. So they filed a registration statement for the potential sale of 43 million shares at the market program to bring in cash. But then it also said they will no longer seek stockholder approval to increase the total number of authorized shares by 500 million, which would be twice the float. They said that the proposed offering should be more than enough to meet the movie theaters chain's liquidity needs for the year. Now, the reason they did this, the biggest movie that's going to come out this year is going to be Top Gun 2, or whatever they're calling it, Top Gun the sequel. The problem is they were going to release that movie July 4th weekend, which I think July 4th is I want to say it's a Wednesday. I could be wrong. Hold on. It's a Sunday. So they want to release it. I thought they were going to release it originally on July 30th or maybe the 2nd. They postponed the freaking release. I think it's a Warner Brothers movie. Now it's set to open in November. Top Gun release date. Sure, we'll go on this. November 2021. 19th of November is when they're going to release it. So they pushed this from Top Gun Maverick is the name of it. They pushed it from a July release out to November. Why? Got me, dude. Because they figure the recovery will be greater then, and they can get it for basically Thanksgiving. Everybody will want to go see Top Gun on Thanksgiving. So if you look at the calendar, You say, what's coming out? April 30th, 2021, April. Let's look at July, just for 4th of July. This is timely. All right, so as riot season begins in the United States in June, you have the Forever Purge coming out in July 2nd. Did you guys ever see the? This is funny. I got to show this to you guys. Let me pull it up over here first. Let me find it. So you can look at this movie and what it's about. But this is hilarious. I think I've had this on the stream before, but let me find it for you. Because it is freaking hilarious. Right? It's one of the funniest clips I've seen on YouTube. Let's see. Let me find it here. Okay. Okay, here we go.
Oh, we got this!
Oops. That's not what we want.
Oh, we got this!
All right. This, my friends. So there were curfews last year, and and this police department, I forget where they were, Alabama, somewhere in the South or something. And if you don't know what the Purge is, I apologize. But the Purge is basically once a year. The theme of the movie is that everybody can go out and kill whoever they want. So for the curfew, this small town police department decided to play the Purge sirens, and this is what it looked like and sounded like.
Oh, we got this!
Best clip ever. The best clip ever. So they went out and they played this police department played the Purge sirens to announce the curfew, either during the riots or I think it was a pandemic curfew, or I don't know if it was pandemic or curfew, whatever it was. So the fact that the Forever Purge Plot Unknown is coming out as the 5th and final installment of the Purge film series, if you have a dark mind, which a lot of people do, I'll definitely want to see that movie. Black Widow comes out July 9th. See, again, why is it wait until the 9th? Space Jam: A New Legacy, July 16th. Probably because they're thinking that if the economy is opened up fully by July 4th, by that weekend, or they put in and say, well, we want you to settle down for this weekend, but come Monday, July 5th, you don't have to put your mask on anymore. But for July 4th, just one more holiday, wear your mask. So that's probably why these are delayed until the second or third week. Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe. Those are ones, enemies of the state, whatever that's about. The Green Knight, Jungle Cruise? Disney, Jungle Cruise. Is that the original? Or is it a new one? I don't know. So that's July. Let's look at June. June. Yeah, you don't really have the Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard with Ryan Reynolds. That's going to be a big movie. A lot of people are going to want to go see that. That's going to be big. Salma Hayek is in it. Samuel L. Jackson is in it. That's going to be a big one. Peter Rabbit 2. That's going to be a big one. Summer 85 drama. That's a drama. Okay. Spark Brothers Crack House of the Dead. Don't know if that's going to get a lot of play. Let's see here. Yeah, the Forever Purge, July 2nd. That's going to be the big one. And then, of course, we have in May, White People Money. I guess that's okay. White People Money is a movie that, if you want to go see that, good luck to you. I'm sure. There you go. Get woke. The Waterman, whatever. Perfect Candidate, whatever. What is that one about? The Perfect Candidate. Wait for that to come out on Amazon Prime. Mission Impossible 25th Anniversary. Okay. They're just going to limited run. Oh, Fathom Events. Fathom Events is when they don't have any movies coming out, so they throw an old one in the theater and you pay money to see a rerun. Counter Column, a war movie. I'd be interested in that. I like watching those. When Hitler Stole Pink Rabbit. All right, I said Hitler. That's going to get me bounced off the stream. May 20th, Cruella, Comedy Crime. That comes out May 28th, so Memorial Day weekend. The Conjuring. There's some other ones, and that's what we got coming out here. And then this weekend, or this month, we had what do we have? Mafia. What is that one? I like those movies. It looks like a German one. Mortal Kombat came out. That's been doing very, very well. We'll look at that in a second. This weekend, nothing big. Separation, a horror movie. That's it for this weekend. But if you look at the box office from last weekend, and you look at the weeklies, weekend. Here we go. Top gross Mortal Kombat, 56 million. Easter weekend, Godzilla vs. Kong took in 47. So over the week before, which was still riding 3 weeks of Godzilla vs. Kong, it was a 193% increase in the box office last weekend. So there you go. So a lot of that stuff's coming on. So AMC, if you like AMC, let's look at the heat map here real quick. Looks like no change. Or already updated. It updates live apparently. Yeah, it updates live. A lot of red coming in here though. So if you like AMC for long term, you got a lot of people battling this thing back down. So just be careful with it. So I do not own any AMC. I was thinking last night in the post market, I was considering picking up some shares. And then the more I read into it, I went into the box office stuff, and I looked at the releases. And other than Mortal Kombat coming out, there's not a lot coming out till Memorial Day. So all these theaters are still tightening in the reins. They're holding on to the stuff because it's simply, it's going to be better if they release it in a fully open market where they can fill all the seats versus 25% or 50% capacity or whatever the hell they're at right now. So you have that going on. All right, Coinbase dipped back down now, $299.79. Palantir still up a nickel, $23.93. Bounced off of a bottom here of 23.81, which is good because it bottomed out after the open at 23.42. So a little bit of support here in the positive territory is good. So that's good news. Tesla's still down 363. Let's take a look at Boeing. 30-second chart. Sorry about that. I know that gets hard. Oh, take off the externals. Sorry. My bad. We'll come back to Boeing in a second. Let's look at the Dow. Down 102. NASDAQ up 5. And the S&P up 5.9. And the VIX 17.4, up a little bit. It's up 0.1 off of the 17.3. It was a 17 this morning at the open. So it's up 4.4 since then. So again, a lot of that is Boeing, and you got the Dow down only 101 now as Boeing recovers. And again, let me know, I'm not carrying the this chart. I was carrying this at the bottom. What I decided to do this week, if you've noticed a change, I used to do this and have this on the bottom of the screen, and now I just have it as a second tab, and we're seeing this one, and I can go full screen like this to make it bigger on the stream. So if that's helpful for y'all, if that looks a little bit better, let me know. Somebody says over here, governments don't save you from hyperinflation, they create it. That is absolutely correct, Johan. Yep, I'm reading that name right. Johan over on YouTube says, governments don't save you from hyperinflation, they create it. And inflation is here. We saw that earlier. And Johan, that's a good point, because as you look at gas prices, it says flat, but this is the first day where the average gas price in California hit $4 a gallon. And as I make this case for oil, and I make this case, and I looked at my Amazon order, I can show you guys this. Let me get it on this screen here, and I'll pull this up for you. If it shows it to me, let me see. I think it will. I'll show you guys my grocery order. Hold on. My orders. Hold on. Let me get to it. There it is. Let's see here. Tracker view my order. View order details. Let me see something. All right, I can't. Yep. All right. So this is for $86.31. So $86.31, and this is what I'm getting. Why is it showing? It's showing me past purchases. Hold on, because this discloses my. Let's see, edit items. Here we go. All right, so this is $85 for some cheese, rich cheese crackers, don't judge, some eggs, some sausage for pizza, English muffins, Swiss cheese for sandwiches, Canadian bacon for egg McMuffins, some more butter, 2 pizza crusts to make pizzas, some boneless chicken wings, some American cheese. It looks like I'm on a cheese run. Some tortilla rounds to go with my salsa, sour cream, pancakes and sausage on a stick. My son likes those, so I bought some. Some more salsa. By the way, the 365 by Whole Foods Market organic salsa, very cheap, $2.29, 16 ounces. Good salsa. Got a very small bite. I get the medium. Some Cheez-Its and some honey barbecue chicken strips. So all that is like $85. In the past, when I repeat I usually don't repeat an order, but I've seen my grocery bills basically have gone like that, just like gas has gone. And I think we were at $3.44 the last time I looked at Washington. Now we're $3.42. By the way, my state of Washington, do you know what they did? Look at what they did. You want to know why? Another reason I'm getting out of here? Here's why. Our idiot governor, Jay Inslee, see, I just call him an idiot, just like that guy called that kid in the dress an idiot. I'm calling Inslee an idiot. Why? Because he is. The measure of signed into law was signed into law. So Washington State just added a 7% capital gains tax. There you go. By the way, Biden wants to eliminate the step up in basis when you die. So when you die, all that gains, they want to eliminate that. That goes bye-bye. They want to eliminate that. They want to eliminate 1031 exchanges for real estate for all the investors. If you're a primary resident, you can do it. But if you're an investor and you own 2 or 3 properties, they want to eliminate the 1031 exchange to exchange into another property. You're going to have to pay taxes on it. So 7% capital gains tax passed for Washington State. That goes into effect next year. I will be out of here, so that's not going to be a problem for me. But it will if you decide to stay in this insane state. And one of the reasons why I'm getting out of there. All the taxes, all the regulations, everything else is just crap. All right, Boeing. Let's go into Boeing. What's going on here? Hold on. Give me this right here. There we go. All right. So definitely you were outside 4 times. 4 times. You can wait 22 minutes. Okay? You can wait 22 minutes. All right? You can wag your tail. I know you want hugs and kisses. I know. Hello. Hello. I love you too. You're a good dog. But you are the neediest dog I've ever had. You know that? But you're a good dog. You are. You're an awesome dog. You got stuff in your eyes. My whole role in life is to remove the sand from my dog's eyes a couple times a day. You can wag your tail all you want. Where's your bone? Go play with your bone. Go get it. Go play with your bone. All right, let me put a couple more treats in her ball. I'll be right back. We'll keep her occupied for 20 minutes. Come here. All right. She's looking at me like I wanted hugs and you gave me a ball with treats. All right, hopefully that'll keep her occupied till the end of this stream. Again, we're going to be back at 10 minutes to 11 on Pacific Coast time, or 10 minutes to 2 o'clock on Eastern time for the Chairman Powell, the FOMC announcement, and then we will carry his press conference live here on stream at 11:30 Pacific, 2:30 Eastern. So make sure you tune in a little bit before that so that you can catch that live here on the stream. And if you're over on YouTube, hey, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button if you like the content. If you're over on Twitch, hit the follow button. It means the same thing as subscribe on YouTube. And if you're over on Facebook, give me a like. Throw your comments down below. If you like the stream, give it a like over there on YouTube as well. Just got a like, thank you. So I appreciate that. That is definitely helpful. So it looks like this bottom that I was talking about, it's got a nice little base here at this 235. And again, anything with zeros in front of it is an emotional level for a stock. So on Palantir, that emotional level is at $24 right now. On Boeing, that emotional level is at 235.00. So because of that, Southwest Airlines gave me a $50 fare sale email. Because of that, you got this emotional level. Pardon me, you got this emotional level. And so I was diagnosed with asthma a couple decades ago. I don't take anything for it. But caffeine, I only have 1 cup of coffee, a 10-ounce cup of coffee a day. That's it. But the caffeine exacerbates my throat. But I do also have ice cubes again because my fridge is fixed. I have my agua as well, my H2O. All right. So again, that would have been the time to get it right here on this third candle at 233 something. Boeing. All right, Palantir, negative again, now down 3 cents. What does that do for my profits? Coinbase, emotional level, guess what? 10-minute chart, $300. It's been hugging this level for days now. Let me go to 30 minutes. It's been at this 300 level since April 22nd. Down, bounce, little up, coming back. So a lot of support at $300 for Coinbase. Makes it difficult to scalp. So that's why I have not added anything to my position on them. Pull back on ExxonMobil a little bit. Yeah, 58.46 is the high on the day. So just a tad dip before it headed back up. So those options are up $3,300 now. So now I'm only down $1,400 on those ExxonMobil calls. Interestingly enough, no, I ain't gonna do it. I ain't buying more calls. Nope. I should have bought more before, but I was comfortable with the position. Palantir, I'm now down on the day, $95 on the option, and I'm down $64 on the stock as it pulls back to this 2384 number. Again, it's down like 35 cents off of its high of the day. What is it? 24.17 minus 2383. Down 34 cents. Everybody's waiting for Pew Pew Powell. And at some point, we're going to get the speech released on Biden and what he's going to say. But it's basically all going to be about taxes, free preschool, child care tax credits for kids under 5, and which is basically, no, I'm not going to say it. And free community college for 2 years for everybody. So hey, maybe I'll go back to community college, take a few free courses. You can bet that there's still going to be some fees you're going to have to pay. By the way, here's what's going to happen. They make community college free. You know what the community colleges are going to do? They're going to increase their prices. Why? Because the government's paying for it. So I'll bet anybody $100 that they will not have caps on community college price increases anywhere in this bill. And it's all about taking as much money as they can and giving it to the government, so that you have to rely on the government to remove our rights as citizens. There, I said that. And that's already happening. It's a fact. It's not even conjecture. All right, Coinbase down 252. AMC down 61 cents. Trying to find another bottom here, but every one it's tried since this morning has been rejected. Even this one here, everybody thought, oh, it looks great, looks fantastic. Gave a buy signal. It gave a buy signal, and then gave a sell signal lower. So it said, hey, take your loss, it's going down. But again, I'm not scalping AMC anyway. GameStop down 761, down to 170. It has bounced off of its bottom. So a tale of two stocks. One has bounced off of its bottom. That's not a bottom. This was a bottom. This was a bottom. It's forming new bottoms. So now you're in danger of it heading down to 1050. Just saying. Palantir dropping now, 23.76. There's no news. S&P dropping. Nope. S&P and VIX are okay. What's the Dow doing? Dow down 110. It's coming up. NASDAQ. So this is just normal Palantir stuff. S&P up 4, but pulling back. NASDAQ now down 24. So NASDAQ is negative. And Dow Jones is down 106. Boeing. There's that. Oh, why is this on Boeing? This should be SPX. Sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Let me go back over here. Go back over here. Go back over to Boeing. 30-second chart. Oops. But I want to get this in here. Leave it. All right, so 233. Bottom wick here is at 234.27. It looks like on this buy, well, that's a 30-second chart though. So you've got some support here multiple times. You've got it here. You've got 30-second chart, mind you, here. You could say here because it retested down to here, but that's a lower low here, but a higher low here. So entry point if we get a turn. What's Paul going to say today? Your guess is as good as mine, man. Fauci says blame for India's COVID crisis is shared globally. Actually, it's not. The biggest thing about India is that the strain that they have, which apparently is a little bit more contagious, actually came from the UK. So, Fauci's, here's another guy that's an idiot. The guy's just a moron. He's in with the biopharmas, so big into Moderna. This is all you need to know about Fauci. The only way that you're going to adequately respond to a global pandemic is by having a global response, and a global response means equity throughout the world. Just like Biden yesterday talking about people of color as a percentage have gotten more vaccines than people that are Caucasian. Or better said, European descent as a percentage in the United States. So I showed you guys a link last week where there was a nonprofit in Washington State that basically said if you're European descent, you can't get a vaccine from them. You can be put on a standby list. Read what you will. So he's an idiot. All right. Trade in goods. Soaring U.S. trade deficit in goods hits record high. But there's a silver lining, really. Trade gap grew 4% to $90.6 billion. The numbers, advanced trade, wholesale inventories increased. Retail inventories declined, which means people are buying more. Import goods, buying more goods generally during the pandemic, and foreign producers of food, drinks, electronics, autos have all been big beneficiaries. Exports increased 8.7% to 142, but imports have increased as well. Exports have recovered more slowly than imports because the economies of other countries haven't recovered as rapidly as the U.S. The result has been softer demand for U.S. goods. So hence, deficit. Trade is one of the few areas that have been in a relative weak spot in terms of GDP, but strong consumer and business spending have easily offset the drag. The government on Thursday is expected to report that GDP surged 6.5% in the first quarter. So if they come out and say that GDP surged 6.5%, then they have to talk about inflation. But our goal for the entire year was 6.5%. So they're going to revise that upwards. Interesting. What they're saying, the goods deficit will show up as a drag on GDP in the first quarter of 2021, but the goods deficit will start to shrink by the end of 2021 and into 2022. Hence, that could be the 6.5%. As the pandemic comes under control in the United States, American consumers will spend less on imported goods, shrinking imports, and foreigners will buy more U.S. exports as their economies recover further. It depends. Biden's $4 billion in aid won't stop the flow of Central American migrants to the U.S. I don't care. It's time to toss the income tax and replace it with something far simpler. Here's what to expect on Biden's big speech. The FBI just got permission to break into private computers without consent so it can fight hackers? What the heck? So they don't need a warrant anymore, huh? That's old. What is this? Who gave it permission to do this? A district court for Southern District of Texas approved one search warrant allowing the U.S. Department of Justice to carry out the operation. So one search warrant just gave the FBI the legal right to hack into your computer for whatever reason they want. Unbelievable. Let's see what this thing says. Court order unsealing the search warrant and application for the search warrant due to the conclusion of the FBI operation for sealing this material. Pursuant to the United States motion and for good cause shown, the motion to seal and sealing order is unsealed. The redacted search warrant and redacted application for search warrant appended. Here's a search warrant. The basis for the search warrant under evidence of a crime, contraband, fruits of crime, property designed for use, continued on the attached sheet, delayed notice of 30 days from April 9th. This has to do with the Microsoft intrusion into Microsoft Exchange. But here's the problem. It could be because of Microsoft Exchange, but that pretty much is going to give them permission to go into any computer. So if you have Microsoft Exchange on your computer, they just gave the FBI permission to look into your computer. There you go. All right, Biden's first speech. Here's what to expect. Education, childcare, policing to feature heavily in state union. Police aren't the problem. Get over this. It's not a problem. Just like that girl in Ohio, the 16-year-old that got shot. That cop saved 2 lives that day. Let's see here. Well, it may look and feel like a State of the Union. Okay, whatever. We'll give it a joint address to Congress. American Families Plan. $1.8 trillion proposal. Spending on childcare, paid family leave, and free community college. Be paid for in part by a tax increase on the wealthy. It's going to be a tax increase on the middle class. If you think only the wealthy are going to pay for this, you're high. You're high. Double the capital gains tax rate. Here's the other stuff, though. See, they're leaving so much out of this. It's ridiculous. Nothing in here on the 1031 exchanges. Nothing in here on the step up in basis for when people die. As an example, 1031 going away for investors. Here you go. Biden's tax plan threatens to do away with 1031 exchange. You think I'm making this stuff up? I'm not making it up. I do my research. It basically means that when you sell a property, if you buy another property, you don't have to pay for the profit on that property because it can roll. You're rolling it into another property. Call it 1031 exchange. By the way, cryptocurrency. Did you know that cryptocurrencies are property? There should be a court case that says that if I go from Ethereum to Bitcoin, that should be a 1031 exchange. I should not have to pay tax on that. Prove me wrong. All right, so that one. And then you also have Biden eliminates step up in basis. Okay. Okay, listen to this one as you read this one. That's CNBC. Let's see if this comes up. I think I'm going to get paywalled on this. Okay, so again, the wording on this by the tools, like CNBC, the idiots over there. I'm just going to use idiot in honor of that CEO. So everybody's going to be called an idiot from here on out. Biden capital gains tax plan would raise $113 billion if step up in basis is killed. So the policy would here's what they're calling this. The policy would cost the U.S. $33 billion over. It would cost the U.S. $33 billion if it doesn't eliminate the step-up basis. So they're not talking. What they're talking about doing is taking away a tax credit. They're removing a credit, and they're going to get rid of the step-up basis in death, which means if somebody you loved owned a stock at $10 a share, they bought it at $10, and it's now at $50 a share. When they die and you get the stock, guess what? Your cost basis is now 50. They're going to eliminate that. What that means is that when they die, taxes are owed by that estate for that $40 gain. You gotta literally search for it to find where they talk about that. Would take place in 2022. Which is going to cause people to sell their long-term gains or die beforehand. I don't know. So what they're going to do, if that's eliminated, what they're going to do is they are going to sell all their stocks that have long-term, and they're going to pay long-term capital gains at 10 or 20%, whatever tax bracket they're in, because it's maxed out right now at 20%. They want to double that. And they'll do that before the end of this year. What happens when all those people that are going to lose that? You've got somebody that's 80 years old that has decades of stock gains or 10 years of stock gains. Why would they want to pay 39.6% capital gains next year if they died next year versus paying the 10 or 20% that's due right now if they cash out of it now? What would you do? I'd sell the damn things. That's what I would do. Screw you, Biden, you idiot. There, I said it again, idiot. So you've got to be cognizant of what this stuff is and what's in these plans and what it's going to do to turn all this stuff red. That could be why we're getting pressure on everything as everything heads down quite a bit here. Down 106 on the Dow, down 21 on NASDAQ. S&P is up 4. Again, we're not going to get anything until we get 11 o'clock. So here's the deal. I will be back. I will be back for the stream, and I'll be back at 10 minutes to 11 Pacific for the FOMC announcement, which will be 10 to 2 on the East Coast. And then we'll carry the Jerome Powell press conference live at 11:30 Pacific, 2:30 Eastern. So stay tuned for that. We'll be here for that. And I definitely want to thank you all for coming in today. S&P is up 4. VIX is down to 17.3. We'll leave you with that on the screen for the day. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, if you're over there on YouTube, again, come back and we'll be back in 2.5 hours. 9:30, 10:30, 11. Yep, 2.5 hours minus 10 minutes. So 2 hours and 42 hours. 2 hours and 20 minutes, we'll be back. At 10 minutes to 11, we'll be back live here all the way through the close of the market today. So this is going to be, we called it a roller coaster day. That's what it's going to be. Give me a follow over there on Twitch. Give me a subscribe over there on YouTube. Give me a like, comment below if you like the stream, if you like the content. We covered a lot today. There's still a lot more to come. It's a roller coaster day. Keep an eye on your stuff. I'll still be at the computer here. I got to go outside and do something. Once I'm done with that, I'll be back at the computer. And we'll be back live here at 10 minutes to 11 Pacific. So until then, thank you for tuning in. I love you guys. I really appreciate you coming to the stream. Do something nice for somebody. We'll see you in 2 hours and 20 minutes. And thanks a lot. Bye now.